That was awesome.
It's Sunday. Another episode of the Marks Podcast. Myself, Dan, the inside man, Gerard Millette, the modern day Jaharaja, Jacob McGovern, and a special guest. By far, the greatest documentarian of all time in the history of life and existence.
I paid him to say that.
The best cook in the world. And the only person that makes me laugh, other than these two idiots, my beautiful wife,
Hey.
Miss Rebellion.
Evening.
Oh. Hello, Jason Chats Football. Welcome to the stream.
I love how you said a special guest, first of all.
Well, hey, when you get married, he's a smart man.
You understand. Anyway, we're back.
That's an evil laugh right there. Hey, I got to ask that guy, what's his favorite team now?
While you're figuring that out, Jason. As it says, we're going to be talking about bodies of work and the rest of the wrestling industry. And, Cody Rhodes came out on a podcast or some outlet and said that if you judge him for being fat or whatever, getting out of shape, that's okay because it's that's the way the industry is, right? But that got me and Gerard actually to thinking, was it always the motherfuckers with the hard bodies that did good in wrestling?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what the industry was built
that's the end of the show, you guys. We'll see you next week.
There we go. But no,
question answered.
Well, and especially because of nowadays, like that's breaking down a lot. But the industry was kind of built on all these, steroid up, juice monkeys, as they would say in Jersey Shore. Sorry, that's on my mind. I've been binge watching it recently. But
when we talk about that, you had guys who had great bodies, couldn't wrestle a lick.
Paul Roma.
And then you have guys like Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, Jacob. It wasn't built on hard bodies, daddy.
That's true.
You have a guy like Dusty Rhodes who obviously was not the most gifted body-wise, but could wrestle.
Just a little bit big. My hand is just a little bit fat.
So, for anybody who wants to slam professional wrestling for stuff like that, I'll take the guy who got a little bit of chubs over the guy who's built like a Greek god, Chris Masters, who can't wrestle his way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah, no, I was going to actually bring up Chris Masters. I remember his whole gimmick was just him based on his body, and they had the whole stupid poses that they had. And he was terrible, and they built him up, and he's so dumb that he didn't know. There was a story that came out recently that he saw CM Punk right in front of his face, and he didn't know that it was CM Punk. He's like, hey, did you see what CM Punk just did? And it's like, what? Chris Masters is stupid.
There is one thing I want to say about the sign that I had to start up, okay? And that is, for anybody out there who thinks that somebody getting elected president can influence the legal system in America like that, you got another thing coming.
Well, me and Gerard will be doing this podcast together next week because he found out I voted for Kamala and he doesn't want to be my friend anymore. So we can't.
Yeah, I was about to say, what happened to the mustache, Dan?
Mistakes were made. I was trying to thin it out, and I fucking fucked it up because I shouldn't be allowed around clippers.
Yeah. I have that same problem, though, every time I try to trim up my shit. But, mine just looks like crap,
But no,
that being said, Chris Masters, yeah, I mean, like, again, another guy who is so fucking overrated, in my opinion, of course, Dave Bautista. Dave fucking Bautista. I mean, look, he could throw his leg at you and fucking hurt his bicep. It's weird. Like he was never going back to when and I rarely agree with Jim Cornette nowadays, but Jim Cornette got pissed off him after he wrote in his book. Whenever they got him over in fucking OVW for years, he was a slender fucking little demon back then, and he got so upset and emotional. And then he took Jim Cornette out of his book. Jim Cornette called him up. Hey, Dave Bautista, we put you the fuck over in fucking OVW, and you didn't write about me in your fucking book? Fuck you. Almost what he said to fucking dickhead, yeah, thank you, fuck you, bye.
Another one that we can talk about, body built like,
And hold on 1 second.
Steel.
Hold on 1 second. I'm glad you said that.
Since when don't you ride the short bus, Will? No, I'm just kidding.
We weren't actually going to have a special guest this week, but if you'll stay tuned, there's a reason why Trips is here today.
Oh,
What?
why is he thinking about your pubes?
I was about to say,
You knew Omega.
There's
a reason why Trips is here again to continue down the line of bodies of work. Again, we talked about big men. Bam Bam Bigelow was not the fucking most athletic looking guy, but the motherfucker, he carried Lawrence Taylor to a hell of a fucking match at WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had big men, right? So you had people who were soft in the middle. Andre wasn't jacked. You had Dusty. The same can't be said for women. I think Nia Jax is the only anomaly. All of the women, you haven't built a career on being big. You don't have the same, and not that I'm crying out for equality. That's not what I'm saying, but it's not the same thing. So for women, I think the standards are they have to look a certain way or they will be body shamed. But men seem to have a little more flexibility to be, have the odd dad bod still build a career off of that.
Well, we still shame the shit out of Nia Jax. I mean,
to be fair, she has it coming.
Yeah, well, Nia Jax just sucks. I mean, that's just...
When Sherry Martel first came out, she was actually kind of taller than all the women she was going against.
Well, I mentioned it I think on one of the shows, it might have been last week, but even when China was at her prime, they still tried to make her masculine, but then they also tried to sexualize her.
But again,
you don't have to try to make her masculine.
Well, yeah, that's true.
She had they tried to sexualize her. They didn't make her into a sex object though until she had fucking thousands of dollars of body work done. Her jawline wasn't the same as it was when she was wrestling. Remember, at the point when she fucking grabbed Marlena, Terry Runnels, from behind the fucking barricade and shook the shit out of her like a fucking rag doll. And shout out to fucking Terry Runnels for selling that like a motherfucker. You thought she was dead. There wasn't a fucking feminine quality about her. I mean, I'm sure that she was attractive in her own right, whatever. Some people, potato, people enjoy what they enjoy, but it wasn't until that day they did the DX split. You remember that when she pulled her pants down, showed her fucking thong? Okay, that's the moment I was like, wait a minute, China's kind of attractive. Being a young idiot, not realizing, she just had fucking thousands of dollars of plastic surgery to realign her jaw to look more feminine.
Hey, Dan, not to interrupt him, I would just like to say to the WB guy, I hope he's feeling good.
No, that's actually from Kubik's chat. He was worried about his...
No. Remember how I told you? I think he said something about having some kind of thing done.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. But the thing when it comes to that shaming part and stuff like that, when you
that is not the case, J-Man. She wouldn't want that. She's already told me no. Told me at the beginning.
Calisthenics can say a lot.
That is true, though. That is true, right there.
Your cardio can say a lot about what you can do in that ring, regardless of the size. You can have a guy who's 300 pounds and his cardio beats that of, I'll give a perfect example of that, Bill Goldberg. I think Goldberg was done after 5 minutes on cardio. Now, this guy was supposed to be
case in point. He had a 8-minute match with William Regal, and William Regal blew him up and took him to the fucking shed, then got fired for it.
Yeah. And that's the sad part about it, to where, you don't have to be the biggest, baddest, muscular guy. Like we were talking earlier, look at Randy Savage. I mean, to take a look at Randy Savage back then, I think Randy Savage today would be CM Punk if you look at it, because the body size is almost similar. Until Randy Savage went to WCW and they didn't test in WCW, and he could take everything in the world and just blow the hell up.
Yep. And to be fair, Randy Savage at the time was an undersized guy, and he's even said it. His brother came out and said it. That's why he wore the big extravagant fucking stuff, the big glasses, the big fucking hat, the big fucking robes coming out. He wanted to seem bigger than he was.
Well, even Shawn Michaels, like during that time, like he was kind of like a lot of people write Shawn off sort of as a small guy, but if you look at Shawn, he really wasn't that small back then even.
Shawn's 6'1", okay?
Yeah.
And, you know, him, Bret Hart, Kurt Hennig, DiBiase, they were all in the same kind of level. So if they wrestled each other, they didn't look bigger than each other. Let's go with King Kong Bundy.
He had no neck.
They could only put Bundy in the ring with certain guys just to not make him look so large.
Well, let's look at King Mabel. You know, King Mabel was very agile. You know, he was doing front flips off the top rope.
Yeah, except for when he's breaking Undertaker's face.
Fucking Mabel was not whatever.
But
again, you look at the top of the card, like she was saying earlier, Andre the Giant was not your fucking physical fucking specimen of muscle. He was a big son of a bitch, but before Hogan was doing shit, Andre was selling everybody out. Andre was selling out the AWA. Andre was selling out anywhere, doing battle royals and just throwing people around.
Would you say Andre the Giant is the greatest single attraction wrestling has ever seen, and there'll never be another like it?
Yeah, I would say so because, well, and honestly, there really wasn't anyone since or before him that like really just. You really could put Andre on any card and he would, turn heads immediately.
I don't know, and the reason I say that was because you can say that on
and maybe Flair at the time too. Flair had a really
but what I'm saying is like Andre was an attraction back when wrestling was still like a circus show, and oh my god, this giant 7-foot something monster. There was a time for that, but as wrestling evolved, you put the name Steve Austin on top of a card. If you're telling me that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be in the arena and I get to hear that glass shatter live, I'm going to be there.
The only reason I'm asking about this is Andre had a 15-year run to where it was Andre. Steve Austin had a 4-year run. 4 years. Think about it. Everything Steve Austin did, he did in 4 years. Andre had a 15-year run to where, think about it, up to WrestleMania 3, and even maybe you want to include WrestleMania 4, the attraction of Andre the Giant was legitimately there. When he started only working 1 or 2 days a month and you really had to go see him, that's when his attraction level started coming down. But up until then, I'm just saying, for a guy his size, the attraction was seeing a guy that size in a ring. Because remember, basketball players back then, you didn't have your Shaquille O'Neals back then. Mm-hmm. To where you had your 300-pound basketball players. No, they were 210 pounds but 7 feet tall. Look at Will Chamberlain, look at Bill Russell. They weren't very big, intimidating guys. They were just tall. So, it's just the special attraction of Andre. If you missed Austin 1 month, if they came back in 3 months, you could go see Austin again. Andre might have come around your territory once a year. If
but
you
then
were
again, do we look at that in the realm of old school shit or now? Because yes, Andre did that, but could Andre still do that now? Could Andre still be that attraction? Other
Look
than
at
being
Big
a
Show.
zombie.
Go against Big Show. Big Show didn't be an attraction. Because why? The whole perception of the wrestling world had already changed.
And plus, Big Show lost a lot more than he won, So Big Show was a comedy act for a lot of years there.
And think about this.
Braun Strowman didn't go that way either, though.
Yeah, no, Braun Strowman, I think Braun Strowman would have gone that route at some point. That's what they were going to do with Gunther. Had Vince stayed.
Hey, think about this: when Hillbilly Jim first came in,
oh yeah,
he was a big old country redneck. Basically, he was the preamble to Braun Strowman. He was a nice big guy.
The greatest thing Hillbilly Jim ever did, though, was when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame and he gave like a speech for like 20 minutes. And like you could like see, like it starts out like okay, then you could just it pans out to people in the crowd, and you could just see everyone's just like uncomfortable because they don't know what to do.
Was longer than his career. Okay. His speech was longer than his career.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was on Saturday Night's Main Event like once.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, when you're talking about, when these people want to shame Cody Rhodes because maybe they say, oh, he's not big enough to be champion.
So here's the problem that I have with that is they were trying to ride his ass and say that Cody says it's okay to body shame people. And you know what? That's not what he was saying. But I'm saying I don't give a fuck. You're in a profession where you're supposed to be larger than life. You're supposed to be a spectacle. Speaking of Andre, you're supposed to be someone who is better than us, for lack of a better term. Better than your normal human being who's out there doing the ultimate fucking feat. These are supposed to be the ultimate men, the ultimate women who are doing amazing fucking things. So if you look like a fat fucking slob in this fucking generation, yeah, I'm going to say, God, he looks like trash. Look, in AEW, I don't know, y'all, your favorite fucking brand, I love Eddie Kingston. I love him on the mic. I love everything about Eddie Kingston, about everything about him. I just think he looks like shit physically, and I see him fucking get winded in the ring. He has I like his moveset, but it's no different than when he was in TNA. He was great on the mic, but looked like it, for my opinion, for my taste. And I'm not saying I'm a better fucking physical specimen.
You know what Eddie Kingston is? And you might agree with this, Dan? Eddie Kingston is a slimmer Tommy Dreamer.
You know what? I can agree with that.
But would you say the same about Kevin Owens, though?
That's what, yeah, you have all those guys.
Do you think of him the same way? Because you love you some Kevin Owens,
I do love
but he's also not the typical cookie cutter.
But Kevin Owens doesn't get winded after 10 minutes.
Yeah, Kevin Owens never gets winded after 10 minutes, and Kevin Owens, can work a decent match. The only good match I've seen Eddie Kingston have was his match with Punk. But I'm a little, of course, I'm biased because I'm a Punk mark. But yeah, no, Eddie King. I will always respect Eddie Kingston because he always does tributes to Misawa, and I love Misawa. So,
I mean, the thing about a lot of these guys is, like I said, they don't hit the gym so much probably to lift weights as they might hit the gym just for cardio, because y'all know, it's like in the movie Rocky where Mickey goes to Rocky. For a 45-minute fight, you got to train for 10,000 hours. Well, to go into the ring every night like they used to, you have to be on cardio probably for about 1,000 hours to have a 15-minute match. And Ric Flair, as we all know, not the body of the gods, but this man used to do it out. He was
amazing golden god right there for how much he drank and how much he was out. He looked great.
Ew.
And he wouldn't do it. He would do it.
Yes.
Ew to the
that is my official contribution. Ew.
You said ew to the Nature Boy.
Listen, Nature Boy Ric Flair has done anything wrong that we know of.
He slept with Halle Berry.
Yeah, no, everyone's
gone
on space.
Who hasn't?
Oldest ride, longest
line, Daddy.
Listen, we don't need to go to space.
Ric Flair is a piece of shit human being, but he's fantastic. It's like you got to pick the lesser of two.
So you're going to tell me
what did he do?
You're going to tell me Arn Anderson, the enforcer?
Yeah, what did he do?
Even though he's balding and whatnot, he's not sexy to you.
Hey, Arn Anderson's a sexy man.
Let me ask you this. Here's a question for you. Does the Spirit Squad get over if they don't look the way they did?
Yes.
Fuck no. They're a bunch of whatever, man. Let's not talk about the
Spirit Squad. Always gets over. What are you talking about? See, there's no contention on that. Everyone knows it's true. Spirit Squad, it launched so many careers. It launched the career of the greatest producer in WWE right now, Kenny Dykstra,
who's he got launched him into a cuck position with John Cena and Mickey James.
Yes, the best thing that ever happened to him. No, I'm just kidding. Spirit Squad, I just think like they couldn't do a male cheerleader thing without people like, oh, they're making fun of, like people would take it the wrong way probably.
Ric Flair's getting divorced again.
He just got married, a year ago?
Love that man. They ought to give him. They need to give him like the Mark Twain Award or something like that.
I think he's trying. Hey,
better honors.
No, I think Ric Flair's trying to break Hugh Hefner's record.
Yep.
He's going for the John Holmes Award. Fuck that, man.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, what's it?
Hey, remember when Hulk Hogan had a sex tape and he kept talking about the guys his daughter was banging? That was great.
Ric Flair
during the sex tape, though. Yeah.
Ric Flair thinks he's Ron Jeremy.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be Ron Jeremy. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Ron Jeremy wants to be Ron Jeremy anymore. Doesn't he have AIDS or something?
He looks like shit. I know that.
He has dementia. I know that. He's sitting in prison right now.
Well, listen, Wilt Chamberlain once made a joke one time. He slept with 10,000 women. What would Ric Flair say?
I think he was competing. I think they were leaving Ric Flair's room and heading to Wilt Chamberlain down the street. Speaking of which, did y'all ever watch that thing with him and Jay Lethal?
Yes.
Yes, the greatest thing Jay Lethal has ever done.
Yes.
Was that in TNA? Or was that that was in TNA, yeah.
This is during the time. This is during the time in TNA where Jeff Hardy was just clearly on drugs, like during his whole title reign, and like it was so obvious now. He calls the New Day the NWO. Wait, what did J-Man say?
Calls the New Day the NWO. The only thing it ends.
Well,
Jesus.
you know,
Jesus, what?
it's funny. No, wait a minute, J-Man. I'm glad you bring that up.
Okay.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan. What did Hulk Hogan say? He didn't say nothing.
Nope. I'm glad you actually bring it up because shall we talk about, the time when Vince McMahon walked up to Booker T and said, "What's up, my,
Oh, no, he went up to John Cena. He walked past Booker T after he said it to John Cena.
That's right. He walked up to John Cena. He's my...
Yeah.
With a do-rag on while being the ECW champion.
Yeah. Hey, that's the greatest ECW champion of all time, Screw Tommy Dreamer.
And then you have Booker T say,
do-rag Vince.
He didn't say
Tell me
that.
he didn't just say that.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
It's a crime that they don't have do-rag Vince as a playable character in the fucking I'm telling you, dude. I would buy a DLC just for that. That'd be awesome. Talking about all these ECW legends.
We have talked about that. I don't want to go too far because we're going to get comical, and some of the stuff that we are going to talk about isn't comical. So there's a reason why Trips is here. And we've been going back and forth. We could actually talk about this particular part of the topic for the rest of the show and have a good time and laugh, but we don't fucking bullshit you guys, and we never have a reason to bullshit you. So there's a reason that we talk about bodies of work. And it's not just in the ring. There's bodies of work outside the ring. You have your announcers, which Gerard knows a lot about the announcers. We have fucking workers on the side, ring attendants. Gerard also knows a lot about being a ring attendant. Referees.
Gerard knows a lot about that.
But there's something that they should be more held accounted for, and they're not. And it's bugging the shit out of me, especially with the current climate of things going on. And that is journalism and fucking wrestling. You should be proud of the body of work and journalism you have, and there should be some credibility to what comes out of your fucking mouths. That being said, my lovely wife is here, and we're going to talk about that. So, Trips, I'll let you start.
Wow. Okay. So in the vein of bodies of work, there are several well-known journalists who cover, wrestling. You've got your Meltzers, and you have Mike Johnson, and then you have what was the last guy we talked about?
Meltzer?
Pollock.
Oh, John Pollock.
His first name, John Pollock. There are those that cover. But they also have your dirt sheets. You have your clickbait, and it seems to be a lot of coverage now is simply clickbait. It's for views. It's not even that you're having a whole lot of written articles or written work. It's YouTube, it's podcasting, and it's who can get the most clicks. How can I get people to watch? What is the most outlandish thing I can put in the subject that's going to get people to tune in? And that's fine. But when you are presenting yourself as a journalist, and you are presenting yourself as having quote unquote journalistic integrity, you should be held to a higher standard than those just, running dirt sheets or clickbait YouTube channels. There are some that stories or incidences that they quote unquote investigate don't necessarily have the most in-depth research as one would expect, or as what they put off. The entire Vince McMahon world right now between Janelle Grant, between other subjects that were covered in the documentary on Netflix. There's a lot of room for people to tell a story, relay a story, try to investigate and get the next big break. And some are not doing their due diligence. And that, I think, is where my issue comes into. I think when you're trying to investigate a story, when you are trying to get to the truth of something, you're supposed to be neutral. You're supposed to go into it looking for the facts to relay that information. Now, you may have an idea, you may have an opinion. Lord knows I have my opinions on certain subjects, but you're not supposed to steer your content to meet that opinion. You're not supposed to turn a blind eye to something that may change how you think about it, how your audience thinks about something. You should present all information. You should present everything, whether it's contrary to what you think or the narrative you've been told or not. We saw that with the election, right? The mainstream media has told us X, Y, and Z for months and months and months. And lo and behold, you find out that, oh, they were wrong about everything. The election went this way. People thought this was more important than this. Journalism in any regard is no different, and journalism within wrestling should be no different. And so if you have a subject matter that is controversial, say, I don't know, the Reader Chatterton settlement. We'll talk about, say that. And so you go into that and you say, okay, I believe Vince is guilty. I believe Vince did this. I believe she's a victim. And all of the evidence you've seen that's been presented to you tells that narrative, tells that story. Hey, he did this to her. She said this happened. Everything points to that being the narrative. Everything has been presented. There's nothing contrary. And so you talk to somebody else. And so you talk to people that maybe are on the outer circle of certain people, and you get a different take. So someone tells you, hey, that doesn't really add up because X, Y, Z. What are you supposed to do with that information? Do you pocket that and go, ugh, that kind of shoots my whole theory in the foot. Can't present that. Or do you go out and you present and go, hey, here's some new information that's coming. I know we've all been told X, Y, and Z, but here's some information we've just received. We want to be able to let you make your own mind up. A lot of the stuff that's being talked about right now is 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. Things that you could never really in a perfect world prove who's right, who's wrong, what happened, what didn't. I just lost my train of thought. And so you have to let people decide for themselves, present the information, and they can look at it and go, yeah, I think he did this. No, I don't think he did that. But when you are putting yourself in a position, not necessarily of authority, but in a sense authority, because you're controlling information to a group of people, and you have something that could possibly change the perception of events that took place, it's your responsibility to present that, whether you like it or not. And people aren't doing that. People are finding out that maybe there's more to certain stories than others, and they're just pushing it to the side and not talking about it. Or they're being made aware of other people who may have information and are not presenting that and just acting like that doesn't exist because it doesn't fit the narrative. And that's doing a disservice to ultimately any victim because you're not telling the full story. It's not doing any service to the person accused who, until proven guilty in a court of law, is deemed innocent. There's a responsibility to report all facts, not just the facts that fit your narrative. And I think there needs to be some focus put on that, and people need to be called out for not presenting everything, or for being shady, or for working with certain individuals that benefits them either professionally or personally. And we're not getting that right now.
I'm going to go on this one, okay?
Yep.
For you guys, if you have not seen this yet, Jacob, you guys might have. This is me. I'm 17 years old. In my right hand is Power and Glory's uniform, okay? I'm 17 in Honolulu, Hawaii. Do I look in that picture like I have anything physically, mentally wrong with me in that picture? Okay? when these journalists, so-called journalists, less than credible journalists, want to attack people without actually knowing them, actually knowing their histories, and they go out of their way to build up their cases because all they do is want to tear. They could care less who else they're tearing down as long as their main character they tear down. And that's the sad part about some of these so-called wrestling journalists who, in the real world, they would have a ton of lawsuits faced towards them because they couldn't just be spooting some of the stuff they spew out here if they were true journalists, because then they would have to back up their stories. But when you have certain people who do it, fat, old, disgusting people who, shouldn't even be on the internet.
The fact that they wear dirty old Mario Brothers t-shirts. But go on.
Yes. It disturbs you to where, I have a thing to where I truly believe the person who gets the story out first, regardless if it's true or false, is the winner. And the person who has to defend that, because the other person got the story out first, will always be looked upon as the guilty party until they're totally vindicated in a court of law. But it's sad that you got to get it into the court of law to be vindicated. And then
Gerard, say they go to a court of law. Remember, we've talked many a time before about in these podcasts, the court of public opinion's already taken place. And it doesn't matter if you've won in a court of law, you're still branded with that mark.
That's what I'm saying.
You're branded, but you're branded with that because that is the spin that's been put out. So your perception is only as good as the information you've been given.
Yeah.
And for what we've talked about, if with the whole Vince thing, say somebody came back and said, "Hey, I have proof that somebody else was in the room with Jimmy Snuka." Okay, like say something came out that goes, "Oh my gosh," that kind of calls into question what happened. Would we sit there and go, shh, shh, shh? No, we would come out and go, "You know what? We presented this. We thought this happened, but here someone says X, Y, and Z.
We will know the truth.
Make of that what you will, but you don't stifle that. You don't suppress information. You don't censor to keep you lose credibility. For you to write an article about somebody, have someone come to you and go, "Hey, I was there when X, Y, Z happened," and then you go, "Yeah, I don't want to talk to you." That's fucked up, and that's dangerous.
In that same breath of what you're saying, wouldn't you rather have the information from somebody who was there, who worked with these individuals, who had time and spent time with this individual? Would you rather have it from someone who is a relative of somebody who heard it secondhand 4 months after the initial fucking
It's
separation?
about fitting the narrative. People are so dedicated to what they've told to be true, believed to be true. There is no room for any other information.
Well, one of the things that too is when you hear people say they have a first-hand account. They have a first-hand account. When you have a first-hand account of something, that means you were physically there when it happened. If you weren't there and you heard it from somebody else, you didn't have a first-hand account. No matter what. Second-hand, third-hand, fourth-hand account doesn't count unless you were physically there. Now, somebody can ask me, were you physically at wrestling? Absolutely, I was physically there. Now, they say to Dan, were you there? Did you ever physically work there? He can say, no. But if he talks like he's there, that's all second-hand account. That's where that's where some of these journalists have got to understand. Using certain words to fit your narrative, just because you think you can get that clickbait, that should not be allowed. But because that clickbait brings in people, the viewers, who now agree with everything that person, all the spoofed lies that are coming out of that person's mouth, because nobody wants to go against that narrative, because nobody wants to be the first person to split that narrative. It's not right. And as we just saw with the election, not always putting out the bad narrative works. People should be able to make up their minds, but You know, the old George Costanza lines of, if you believe it's a lie, if you believe in your own lie, then it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? I mean, it's sad that we're in 2024 and we still have situations in this country that is the narrative. You believe the lie is the truth, and you can spew that lie to anybody you want to, and nobody. It seems like nobody has that right to question you on that lie.
But then again, you also have this thing where, say something like has gone on for 30 years, almost 40 years, and people didn't speak out to the contrary because when a fear out of being told not to, out of respect to someone else to say, hey, just leave it where it's at, whatever the case may be, and then they try to come out and say, look, I was there and I can't take it anymore. Then they question that. And I don't think that's fair. I think that until the case is solved, until we have proper adjudication, there should never be a time when you say, well, the statute of limitations on evidence is gone. You can carry on. I don't care if you were there.
Hey, Dan, I would just like to go to the J-Man's thing there. J-Man, just so that you know, in what year did that happen? 2020, 2007 or something like that? 2007? That when that happened? Benoit?
What happened?
Benoit, was it 2007?
Fucking Jacob.
Was that 2007? I can't remember the exact year.
Yeah, it was 2007.
He had already gone public with the company, and because he had already gone public with the company, you saw the tribute, and then you saw his immediate response when he found out what had happened. Because his company was public at that time, I believe he would have let Chris Benoit go on and hang himself anyway. If you guys get my point on that, because he would be like, I ain't touching that at all. Hell with that. You know, there was no defense of that because it's now a public company and every news media got wind of it. If his company isn't public and the news media didn't look at wrestling at that time in the same way, yeah, maybe Vince tries to do something. But once
that happened in the 80s, if that happened in the 80s, then yes.
Yeah, but that's the thing to where, yeah, correct. If it happened in the 80s, does he try to do something when it's not his company? No. But if you notice, a lot of these lawsuits that come up for him, that the littlest it could be that has to do with wrestlers, he tries not to protect them anymore unless it happened during working hours. For the simple fact, or he did try to do that, just for the simple fact, hey, now he's a public company. He has people he has to answer to, stockholders, that say, hey, what the hell's going on here? Just like how quickly did he fork over the money when the first lawsuit came out about the 4 women he paid off? He took money out of his own pocket just so that his shareholders wouldn't be affected.
After he got caught, though.
Yeah, after he got caught.
But also look at this. You know, they didn't, you know, and this is talking to you. You and I had a long talk about, you know, whenever the Vince McMahon documentary we put out came out, we had a long talk, you and I, Gerard, and there are things that didn't come up that the journalists knew about that they didn't bring up. What kind of money was Hulk Hogan making during the time of the Rita Chatterton situation?
A lot.
He averaged $10,000 a show.
So you would say that would that be more than $500,000 a year?
But if he does 200 dates a year, yeah.
Okay, so
probably more because if you're counting at that time,
what was your standard referee making back then?
Remember, referees 1 or 2% of the gate, depending on the level.
Even if it was a gimmick referee, like a big.
They might have got a flat fee. They might have got a flat. Like I'll give you like Pat Patterson when he did Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam. He might have just got the flat fee for being in the ring. He might not have got the percentage point.
I'm talking about the first female referee.
Oh no, she was probably getting paid like everybody else, a percentage of the gate.
So you don't think she was making $500,000?
Nah, please.
I don't think she
made $500,000. Dave
I don't think she made that much.
She didn't make that. He promised. She says he promised her that. Now, whether he
I'm
intended,
sure there was a lot of promises.
I'm sure there were. But my point is, whether he intended to or not, that's what he sold her. That's what she says she believed he meant. Whether he was manipulating her, whether he was trying to get her into bed, he promised her magazine covers, merch, money. Whatever he sold, a guy will tell you anything, right? Oh, I love you. Just the tip. Like, they will lie to you to get you in the sack. So if he told her
Guys don't do
$500,000
that.
a year,
Dan.
whether
Come
he
on,
meant
Dan.
it or not, she believed
It
it.
worked, damn it.
It doesn't mean he was going to pay her, but he sold her the dream of that to get what he
Well, we're
ultimately
having that discussion, though,
got.
right?
What he
We're hav-
ultimately got, because he did come out in that Netflix documentary. All we've ever heard from her is that he raped her. You've never heard anything else. But in that documentary, he said, we did have sex, but it was consensual. So they did have sex. And then he said, even if it was rape, the statute of limitations had run out on that. So whether he intended to pay her $500,000 a year or not, he told her that. Whether it was consensual or not, he got what he wanted, and then he kicked her to the curb.
You don't think it was possible? There's a possibility of making it so extravagant, or making her case, her speaking out to who Donahue or Geraldo, whoever,
Geraldo.
that it was that extravagant.
He was going to sue her. He sued her. He sued her. He sued Geraldo. He sued the production company. The only reason he called the lawsuit off on her was because he was dealing with the steroid scandal. Otherwise, he was taking her to court for slander and defamation. Yet, to sell the company to TKO, he paid her 7 figures.
Well, I'll put you like this. There was another lawsuit out there where the person got paid, and that person got their job back and ended up making more than everybody else on the roster. Not wrestlers. Everybody else on crew, that person ended up getting paid more than everybody else on crew.
So there is a precedent. He could have paid her more.
And the thing about that is, if you file a lawsuit and you end up getting paid more than everybody who you're working with, how do you think the people working with you are going to look at it?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they all know, hey, you sucked before as a worker, you got your job back, and you sucked again. But we're stuck with you making more than us.
And they bet they didn't report on that.
You know why? Because it doesn't fit the narrative of the, journalists.
Vince McMahon.
It's all about what can they do for Vince. What can we do to bring down Vince McMahon? Well, I'll tell you this right now. There's nothing anybody can do right now to that man to bring him down that he probably hasn't already done to himself. The only thing that I'm hoping for that, Mark Shapiro claimed he had a breakfast with Vince a couple weeks ago.
Was his health okay? Did he look all right?
Was his health okay?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping his health. I'm hoping he comes out the next time we see him. He looks like a 40-year-old man, and everybody who's been doubting his health will be made to shut the hell up.
Well, what kills me is that I hope
the porno stash that he has is more defined. So
I don't care. They use that picture everywhere, and I cannot stand the look of evil Vince. It's just unsettling.
I'll say this: I'm not a fan of Vince. I don't like Vince. You know that. Gerard knows that. Everybody knows I don't like Vince. And there's a reason for that. But again, there's people aren't reporting the fucking truth. I've heard journalists go on record of saying, I will do anything to take Vince McMahon down. Does that sound like someone is a credible witness who should be fucking doing reporting?
That sounds totally impartial and neutral.
How
and really wanting to get to the bottom of the facts.
That sounds like CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC. That sounds like normal media.
That doesn't sound like Fox.
That's right. Notice I said it sounds like, the liberal media.
But that's the thing, is Vince is potentially guilty of a lot of things over the time that he ran the company, right?
Yeah.
There's no one saying that he's an angel, that he's innocent. But you can't just create and say whatever you want because he has a reputation. You can't go, oh, well, he did this and this. I think he did X, Y, and Z, and I'm pretty sure he did this, and someone told me he did that. You can't do that. You take him down on his own merit for things he has done, things that are provable, things that have been reported, but you can't just come up with stuff and go, well, that sounds like something he'd do. I'm sure we can get someone to bite on it because of the current culture and the current climate around him.
You know what's sad is, so they go after Vince and Linda, right?
Yeah.
Shane and Stephanie were around a lot back in those days. Okay? Being that Stephanie and Shane were around back in those days, more Shane than Stephanie, wouldn't Shane have reported more to his father if he saw a lot of this going on? Because, as much as he was being taught the business and he could think that he was going to take the business over one day, wouldn't he not want stuff like things that could be Vince in his mother's eyes? I better tell mom and dad this, because if I don't, that could affect me down the road.
I don't think Shane really was like around Vince as much as people think that he was.
No, I'm talking about
no.
I'm talking about back in the 90s. Before,
oh yeah, back then.
Yeah, before he left, before he basically dropped his ball.
No, like even back then, I don't think, because he was only around like in production, like meetings, stuff like that. But I don't.
Wasn't. Jake,
yeah, I know you know better than I do.
He came on the road every summertime when he was off of school.
Yep.
So he'd work June, July, and August on the road, and by working on the road, he'd be on the road for 90 days. He would be around the business more than his father was.
Yeah, that's true. Because Shane, you get the sense of Shane that he was kind of one of the boys, at least.
Hold on 1 second. Stories. We have a very important question for Gerard.
Oh, that is a very important question.
Trips, you might be able to chime in on this.
I would just need to know the name of the street. Because
which
I
road
was around then.
Also, Sonny said it happened.
Well, if Sonny said it happened, then it must have happened.
Well, yeah. Well, Shane just comes across as one of the boys, at least like in any stories about it. But as far as Shane knowing stuff about Vince, like behind closed doors, I don't think he was really around Vince.
I'm not talking about Vince. I'm talking about what was going on with his company. Don't you think Shane would be a little fucking?
Well, I think anytime Shane tried, he got shut down. I don't think Vince ever gave him a chance. Hold on.
But what I'm saying is, if something bad was going on in the area that Shane was working, something nefarious, something so horrible that you couldn't not say something about it, and he would say Gerard was there. Let's just say Gerard knew, we had a conversation or two with the kid. Don't you think he would have told his dad about it? Listen, hey, Dad, this is something that happened. You might want to clean this shit up, Dad. Dad, it could ruin your whole company. Dad, Donahue, Geraldo, Dad.
Listen, I was in a hotel room in Augusta, Maine, and Shane was in the room next door. He broke a damn cot. I'm not going to tell you how he broke a cot.
He was fucking. Anyway,
lucky girl.
She does love some Simba.
But I'm saying is, when he was on the road those days, he was the golden goose, to where he had to go there and do the job the way he was being done, ring crew, refereeing and stuff like that. He had to do his job. He could play around a little bit, but his eyes still had to be around, because put it this way, he was treated just like anybody else, with a slight advantage. And that was it. And then this was when he was going to Brown. I think Brown University. Like I said, getting out of high school, then going to Brown University.
They didn't send Shane to DeVry.
No, there's Brown University in Rhode Island. If I'm right, Stephanie graduated from Boston University.
Hold on. Of course, the Omega Magic has to put his 2 cents in. Telling you, Vince should have ran for the Republican president, where he would be president in God mode. He lasts back 2 terms. I'd vote for him if I wasn't already brainwashed by
the woke mind virus.
Which, to be honest,
that'd probably give me the vote.
Subject 0 of the woke mind virus is the Omega Magic.
My question is, the Omega district, is that AOC's district?
Actually, no. It's going to be Gavin Newsom's district. No.
Oh.
It'll be a little north of Gavin Newsom.
But it's still in California, right?
I think. Aren't you in Washington, Omega?
he better not be in Oregon, because I can understand if he's in Oregon too.
Which is a shame, because Portland is beautiful. I would love to live in Oregon, but just can't.
I remember going to the Rose Garden when it was called the Rose Garden in Portland.
Were you part of Chaz, Omega? Were you part of the Chaz movement? Were you at Chaz?
Yes, I'm all up in her oval. Hey, speaking of, I don't want to get into politics too much, but did you guys hear about this idiot interviewer today who came out and said Joe Biden should resign in the next 30 days just so that way there for the next, so to finish out the term, Kamala Harris can be the first woman president.
Oh, for God's sake.
I'm going to shave my fucking head because of this shit.
I have not heard that.
Yep. So I heard they want Joe Biden to resign just to give Kamala the chance to be president. I'm like, oh, because why? That's the only way she'll ever get in?
Oh, yes.
Hold
After this, you won't hear from her again.
He was part of Chaz. No, he just confirmed it. Chaz.
But I mean, when we talk all those and stuff like that, these bodies are working like, real integrity journalists, believe it or not, most of them stay away from the Vince McMahon stuff. Because why? They don't know what rabbit hole they want to go down with that, and they say they don't want to touch it. Because
this is what bothers me about the journalism in that regard is there are so many people. Now I'll say this, and it'll be a shout out to them. John Pollock, Brandon Thurston, I know that you butt heads with them occasionally, but I'll say this. Whenever they use the audio from our interview, yours and mine, and I said, look, you quoted the wrong fucking podcast, you did this, and I went in there heated, a little pissed off. They said, you know what? Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We'll post a comment. So they went out and basically said, look, it wasn't this one. It was theirs. I reached out to them, and they were quick to say, hey, look, John is not on this particular Twitter, but you can send it to him. I'll let him know that you're coming. They were very open. And again, you spoke with them for better or worse. They listened to what you had to say. They had a conversation. Maybe you don't like who they've talked to, but they did listen to what you had to say.
But you have to talk to all sides, right? So that's a point. You have to, when you're quote unquote investigating, you have to cover your bases. You have to talk to people. You have to engage with content you may not like. And so if that means paying for somebody's paywall for 1 month to get access to documents or to get access to a video, you do that. You don't say, oh, I don't want to read their stuff. I don't want to hear from them. So I'm going to admit that. You can't do that. You have to cover everything. And I find it funny that wrestling seems to be the only, and maybe I'm wrong, in my opinion, the only sport where this goes down. You wouldn't see this necessarily if you're covering the NFL or covering Major League Baseball. You wouldn't see this blind side to facts. You wouldn't see, they're held to a higher standard, I guess you could say. ESPN's not going to go, well, we're not going to talk to this person. We're just going to put it over here. And whatever we can do to take down Jerry Jones, we're going to do. Like, you don't see that mainstream. I don't know why.
You also don't see a fucking journalist who's supposed to be reputable coming out and saying, I will do anything in my power to take down Vince McMahon. End quote.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
You also don't see reputable journalists telling other journalists they're less than reputable.
Yes. And when you're kryptonite and nobody wants to talk to you and nobody wants anything to do with you, there is a common denominator. It is not always everybody else. And when you ask questions and you don't like the questions you're being asked, you don't dip and act like nothing ever happened.
Hey,
oh yeah, you know that from personal fucking experience.
That's right.
Or you tell somebody 3 times you're going to have an interview with them, and each time you cancel because you realize, oh, I can't talk to that person.
Right. Because it doesn't fit the narrative, because it doesn't fit who I'm working with, because.
But that's the thing. You should be on a constant quest for the fucking truth. Case in point.
You should be.
We did the last documentary we did was, what it was. Okay. Through that interview, someone reached out to us named, what was it? Dickhead? Yeah, that guy named Dickhead. He reached out to us. And we set up a fucking conversation. And me and Dickhead talked for 3 hours. 4 hours, yeah, but maybe you saw 3 hours of it. But me and Dickhead became friends, and now we do a fucking podcast together. If you don't know who I'm talking about fucking Gerard. But again, we met Gerard in our quest for the truth. It wasn't about fucking looking for some linchpin to fucking fill a narrative. We produced the facts. And if you look at anything that's ever been produced on this channel, it's always been facts based on the information given. We don't put it in opinion. We say, this is what happened. This is the evidence given. And if you look, yes, it looks very one-sided until you listen to all the facts. Case in point, we have an interview with Gerard. Here's the problem. Nobody wants to do that because they're afraid that, oh, I got the scoop on some shit. And making somebody look like a monster sells a lot more fucking internet clicks than saying a guy was treated a certain way for X amount of years and we didn't have all the facts. There should be some integrity involved.
There should be. And it's not saying that if one instance of something didn't happen, that Vince is not still guilty of XYZ. If it comes to find out that this Janelle Grant thing goes under and nothing happened with her, that's not to say he didn't do the other things that he was paying people to cover up. So admitting that there's something you didn't know, or this particular, in this one instance, it's not true, doesn't negate the rest of what's going on. So you shouldn't fear coming out and saying, oh, new information. Oh, new person talked to me about this, and this is what they said.
And there's one thing you just put up there, and I want to put out to J-Man. When it comes to having your feelings and stuff like that, between being an aspiring professional wrestler, when it comes to being aspiring professional wrestler, follow your heart, not your mind. Because in the business of professional wrestling, if you follow your mind, you'll be stepped on, walked on, and stuff like that. Just listen to your heart. You'll be fine. You'll never go wrong if you just listen to your heart. Don't let the BS behind the scenes get into your mind, because once you do, always, and I will always say this to aspiring guys. Just like I learned, let the boys make you one of them. Don't try to become one of the boys,
because that'll fuck you pretty bad.
Yep. And just so that somebody else knows, I'm not a Republican. I just vote for the person who put more money in my pocket. I work damn hard for my money.
Which is usually the Republican.
and I live in an ultra liberal state too, so where my vote technically doesn't count because.
Oh, your vote matters, motherfucker! Don't let anybody tell your vote doesn't matter.
Not in Massachusetts, it doesn't.
It's your civic fucking duty.
It matters in Pennsylvania.
I voted for Oprah.
Oh, wait, what? After what she said?
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't vote at all.
I voted for the Amish.
180,000 of them registered to vote for the first time. It's a powerful thing. Every vote counts.
Oh, especially in Pennsylvania.
I totally voted.
You know what's funny is last week, if somebody would have told me, I guessed it with a guy at work. He goes, how do you think it's going to go? I said, I think Trump's going to win in a landslide. He goes, really? I said, I think he's going to win all the swing states. And sure enough, finally yesterday declared Arizona and Nevada. He's won them all.
Is it not bizarre that it took, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days to find out who closed out certain states?
Put this way, you still don't have
to read that. We weren't counting 7 days later.
You love Omega Magic.
I do love Omega Magic.
Look at what he just said.
Listen.
Now look what Will said.
Hey, listen. I think we just need to vote for Pedro in 20.
Hey,
see.
If you vote for me, all your wildest dreams will come true.
We have a lovely FFA schedule coming up. I'm really looking forward to that. I would like to see more of that kind of stuff in the cafeteria.
You know what's fucked up too? Like his competition immediately comes out and she's like, "Yeah, who wants to eat chimichangas next year? Not me." Great movie.
I tried watching that movie for 15 minutes, and that's all I got was 15 minutes.
I don't know, but I'll tell you this: Trips can rock a hell of a side pony.
Aw.
I got us on the fucking subject.
Wait a minute, hold on. He vote for paid row?
Vote for Pedro.
But again,
How much you want to bet I can throw a football over them mountains?
Hey, Uncle Rico.
But you know.
So are we talking about how JD from NY is the greatest wrestling journalist that there is?
Okay, I'm
Who do
glad
you
you
think?
said that.
Okay, who do you think is like a dirt
Who's
sheet
JD?
aside?
I don't know who JD is.
If
JD
you're
from New York?
asking, well, first of all, I think JD from NY sucks, but he's not really a journalist. But he
But that
blocked me
goes
on Twitter.
okay, but Jacob, that goes with a lot of the fucking. Okay, so Gerard, before I met you, and before I really invested into a lot of this other shit, there was this thing called the Internet Wrestling Community. That's kind of where me and Jacob started years ago, and as part of the Internet Wrestling Community, everybody thinks they know what the fuck is going on. Some of those folks have made a fucking name for themselves. Some are absolute fucking garbage, clickbait pieces of shit. Don't need to go into fucking detail. It is what it is. But then I didn't realize that it didn't just start with the fucking bottom of the barrel on the fucking internet. There are people that are clearly on the level of a Meltzler and other people that suck as much dick as the internet community, and they just happen to know the right people and get in the right spots. You know, the shit we talked about today. Fucking trash, garbage human beings who are paid, who are insiders with a Colt Cabana, with a fucking AEW. Hey, trying to get Tony Khan to get him a fucking internet site. Whatever.
Fucking, you got Dave Meltzer like thinking that fake Twitter posts are real and reporting that Backlash is going to be in Tokyo this year.
Hey,
And then
plans
immediately
change.
tweeting,
Tokyo Dome 2025.
yeah, that's all he tweeted out, and then immediately going, that account was fake, and it was a fake account, and Tony Khan, I believe, is trying to get a thing going. No, fuck Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer sucks.
Again, Dave Meltzer is another one who's up Vince's fucking Tony's ass because Vince didn't give him time of day. And when you were sitting there on Geraldo or whatever it is,
Donahue.
talking shit, what was it?
Donahue.
They're on all these fucking. They're on Sally Jesse Raphael, and but they're on fucking Donahue, basically trying to destroy a man's credibility, and yet he doesn't take you back as his buddy. I'm sorry, I kind of can accept that. I can accept that, Vince going, "Fuck you, Dave Meltzer, and your long, goofy fucking mullet. Go kiss my fucking ass."
Well, and going back to Meltzer, like just look at how that whole CM Punk brawl out situation was handled. Like all we were getting was just reports from Meltzer's side, and the Young Bucks kept like.
From, but I'm just going to post this.
Okay. Thank you, Will. Anyways, so like the whole thing about Brawl Out was coming out from Meltzer and the Young Bucks side, and they totally vilified CM Punk, and everyone just believed it. Yeah, CM Punk was launching chairs at people, and then it took CM Punk himself to come out and be like, well, there's an NDA involved.
Larry the dog bit somebody on the calf, and
Ace Steel bit someone too, which has been confirmed, I'm pretty sure, but.
I think
does it get over because it's believable?
Well, and it's just funny because so many people believed that, like, that was just, Meltzer said it, so it's true. It's terrible. It's just terrible.
Well, what really pisses me off more than anything else that I've learned in the last 24 to 48 hours as far as journalism goes, is that now, because of
I said that you want one?
Well, I never claimed to be one. I will say that I am a fucking interviewer, and I'll have a conversation with just about anybody. But what has really pissed me off more than anything in the world is now I have to agree with Vince Russo.
Lower the flags, folks.
Bro.
Was that the moment of silence that you did?
Bro? We're going to have the reverse battle royal, bro. Let me tell you. Instead, they're going to go inside the ring, bro, to win the match. They're going to start on the outside. Bro, we're going to, you know what? We're going to have a brawl, bro, from 4 different spots of the arena, and I want you all to film it, bro.
When I agree...
With the no name, we will not say his name again.
We're not naming anybody, but when I agree with Vince.
Bro. Vince bro.
Russo.
Vince bro.
Bro.
Really? You agree with him even though he had, Hispanic wrestlers carrying around bottles of tequila? Isn't that racist?
That was water. That was water.
The best thing Vince Russo also did for luchadors was he wanted to make a WCW luchador show and call it Festival de Lucha. And I gotta tell you, it was pretty cool because I could see him, bro. We're gonna have the set look like the Mexico City, bro. And every single entrance, we're gonna have mariachi people, bro. I don't even know what you call that, bro.
We got a sombrero and a pole match.
Yeah,
That's what we got.
We have a sombrero.
They actually had a pinata on a pole match.
Bro, we're gonna get. Let's get what's
now,
his name?
Hold on.
Gaza. We're going to get Gaza out there.
Even more. They're going to blow your minds even more. There's a reporter out there who likes to call himself a fucking reporter who made Russo and Jim Cornette actually agree they dislike him that much. Again, because we're fucking being respectful people, we're not going to say the piece of shit's name, even though he drools on women on their hands and wears a dirty Mario Brothers t-shirt, never had a fucking real job, doesn't know how to drive or have a driver's license.
He probably has calluses on his hands up the wazoo.
Has his hands so far up fucking Tony Khan's fucking ass he can fucking mouth him as a puppet. But look, we're going to be respectful here.
I didn't know Kenny Omega.
I'm glad you're being respectful.
Talks to my fucking wife about a fucking topic. Has an in-depth conversation, but as soon as the conversation's not going where he wants, completely stops giving her information. Whatever. But yeah, fuck that guy. Where was I going with that? I don't know, but fuck him.
Oh, not only that.
Remember when Meltzer reported that Shibata had his brain removed?
You know what's funny, Dan? That same guy also ran to his boyfriend and gave him other information too. Because, those two got to be lovers because nobody else is going to want them.
Well, it's kind of funny that fucking information led to a fucking article that came out right after a court case just got dropped. We can't talk about the court case, of course, but that just got dropped. But already a complete fucking 4-page article came out on it.
Well, I'm just hoping the report that I read from a certain state about a certain thing actually ends up happening to where, a certain clause.
No, don't go there. Don't give the motherfuckers any evidence. No, don't give them any fucking help. Fuck them.
No. Just a certain clause gets revoked.
What the hell is Omega talking about in the chat?
I don't know, but I think Omega's finally come out as homosexual. But look, it's 2024, Omega. You can be whatever you want to be. You can be black. You can be white. You can be a sombrero on a pole. You can fucking
sombrero on a pole. I'm telling you,
dude. You can fucking put up the Geritol you want. You can be a woman. Hey, I'm sure you kind of look like Joy Reid. You could be a woman.
Wow.
Do it, brother. Do it. Love you, Omega.
Wow.
All right, so the Velveteen Dream. He's gonna go down as one of the saddest what ifs in wrestling.
Because he didn't do shit wrong. That's the thing.
That's the saddest thing about it is, man. This is a guy who was John Cena in an interview saying, I would love to work the Velveteen Dream at WrestleMania,
and what, a week later he was gone.
Yeah, a week later he was gone.
Apparently he was talking to underage kids, this and that. Another guy who was guilty of not coming out and telling his side of the story. He
didn't do it in time. Again, someone saw something, jumped on it, and that's what's put out as the truth, and you can't counter that.
Think about it, guys.
My favorite thing about that is he never disputed anything that, like, any of those allegations, but when EC3 talked shit about him, he was just like, hey, EC3, remember that time we were doing coke at the and like he just totally just
threw EC3 under the bus. Ass. I mean, yeah, brother, we did that.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that gets to me is, and I got to tell you guys this story, and this was one of the stories to where it never got reported. And there was 2 prominent wrestlers when I was working there. They were a tag team. Well, one night they got a couple of 17-year-old girls into a hotel room. They left in the morning with the 2 girls' heads shaved clean.
What?
Yes.
Did they vote for Kamala?
They had these 2 guys had shaved the heads of the girls clean. They got them doped up, did what they wanted with them, shaved their heads clean, left. So when the girls woke up, these guys were gone, and they were too embarrassed to admit what had actually happened to them.
Killer bees.
No.
No,
And
The Dynamite Kid and British Bulldog.
nope. And
Whoa! It took you a second to say that. Who was it?
one of them ended up being.
Are they still among the living? One
Is this going to be like the JFK shit?
One of them in charge of one of the shows right now, and the other one is a poor, pathetic excuse of his former self.
That narrows it down.
You know, they listen to a lot of rock and roll. You know,
Anderson and Gallows. No,
their nickname might have been something to do with, you know, rocking. One had blonde hair, one was a brunette. One of them became heavyweight intercontinental champion, heavyweight champion, tag team champion, European champion. Considered one of the greatest in-ring technicians of all time. There you go. Yes.
Yeah,
And-
Footloose.
that right there is just one of those stories that I knew about, and you know, that's the kind of stuff to where, because at the time stuff like that didn't get out, dirt sheets didn't get a hold of stuff like that, did it make it right? Absolutely not.
All you have to do is become born again.
Listen, 35 years later, right? Hey, well, one of them got no knee anymore, or you know, he's called Hoppy now, you know, and the other one saw the error of his ways.
Well, Cornette made a wonderful comment about this one of these particular individuals and said, "When you have no more friends, you tend to find Jesus." If you haven't picked up on who the fuck it is by now, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, the one thing I'll say about that one particular guy, though, my lovely ex-wife, that was her favorite wrestler. My daughter was 4 years old. I actually happened to run into him at a building, and I asked, "Do you mind taking a picture with my daughter?" And he was gracious enough to do it. He actually picked her up and held her.
Aww.
And when we gave that picture to my ex-wife, she was not the happiest woman in the world, which I applauded. Because I actually had my daughter being able to take a picture with us. It was her favorite guy. And she's like, "No, you did not. You got her to take a picture with him. You son of a..." It's like, you know, I was like, "Hey, I got you mad at me? Thanks again."
Look, it's not like he's a sexy boy.
Well, you know, he thought he was
always
cute.
cross-eyed?
No, he got hit. He looked like he got hit and kicked in the head by a mule. Wait a minute. Who did kick him in
Or
the
a
head?
Marine.
Who?
Or a Marine.
Yeah.
At a bar. A
Well,
bunch of guys.
a bar fight would never be. I don't think a bar fight would be that guy's. You know. Well, you know, his partner got thrown through a window somewhere, and then the other one lost his smile.
It's so sad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on.
You know what's
I do
unfortunate about that is, when Brett had his stroke, he probably lost his smile too. He actually did.
What's fucking wrong with you?
What?
Jacob, not on purpose though.
What he did probably, I don't know. That was during the same time too, so you know.
Yeah. I got to ask, how'd you come up with William C. Riley for your gimmick?
John C. Riley?
John C. Riley, you know.
That was actually from another buddy stream I was at, and Yeah, my name was Mike Honcho at the time in the stream.
If it got into your brain somehow that I spread my butt cheeks, is my
Look at the name I first sent to you guys.
Oh yes.
This is how shake and bake
But to
ends.
be fair, though, had we not done our fucking due diligence and someone had not done her investigation in the journalism, whatever it may be, whatever you want to fucking call it, we would have never known who the fuck you were. What the fuck is that, Jacob? Are you farting into the damn mic?
No, my mic. No, I was just muting my mic. I wouldn't do that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we wouldn't have met Gerard.
Yeah.
You know, because he was known as a different name back in the 80s,
Back in the
70s,
day.
60s.
Is that the cat?
Yeah, it's my cat.
Oh, it's yours. I thought it was ours.
Yeah, my cat's going crazy right
Well, our
now.
cat made a cameo today, so.
She did.
Well, she kept coming over here and messing with the screen. I was like, fine, I'll pet you. Leave me alone.
But I mean, it's one of those things where, like, when we go back to these other things, it's, you know, between the wrestlers, the journalists, and stuff like that, to take, you know, regardless of how you feel about them, Vince built a company that employs 800 people plus right now. And, you know, you never hear anybody crying poverty over there, saying they're not well compensated for the jobs they do.
Well, to be fair, he built a company before he was given the boot. Again, I can't stress it enough. I'm not a fan of Vince McMahon, the human being. But what I'll also say is if he's going to be accused of something, make sure he's accused of the right thing.
He still had a right to day in court.
Absolutely. And the problem I have is, yes, I don't like Vince. But we're going back to reporting the fucking case. They're acting like there was a crime committed as far as like Janelle, and to my really you're gonna fucking take my cat gimmick. You're gonna take my fucking cat gimmick.
He was literally going crazy. I don't know what else to do. Oh, there's his ass.
I see like a little kid there, huh?
Oh, it turns out MLW is live right now. That's good.
Yeah. Hey, in what's in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, Eric Bischoff gets to run one of their shows.
Really?
Yeah, that's gonna
I'm
be.
still mad about the cat thing. All right, hold on. Let me get over that real quick.
Jacob likes a little tail.
She's really.
Sorry, guys, I just froze the show. Sorry.
No, it's not that. It's the cat's like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's big chilling right now.
Hey,
so hold on. I know your vision's bad.
So, well, all these guys that are talking about this other show, did anybody see on that thing the New Japan Pro Wrestling Friday night?
No.
Jacob?
No, I did not. I know Zack Sabre Jr. is the champion right now currently.
I know Ricochet's supposed to challenge him soon.
Oh yeah, Ricochet's challenging. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Both,
is Ricochet still fingering his butt or what?
That was what I was going to ask both of y'all because y'all might know more. Why are they saying that Samantha and Irvin and Ricochet are acting like fucking assholes?
Well, because from what it's Twitter crap from what I've seen, but people are blaming Samantha Irvin leaving on Ricochet, and yeah,
okay,
all Ricochet's fault.
Okay,
and then apparently Ricochet was just like retweeting fans and just tweeting at fans for I don't know. Apparently that's the narrative right now.
Because he said she's not coming. He's like, everybody's blaming me, saying she's coming to AEW. He said she's not coming to AEW.
Well, I'll put it like this.
What the fuck?
When you hear her responses to some of that, she's not doing herself any favors either.
Yeah, the way she's replying to fans is kind of fucked.
She's not doing herself any favors.
She got tired of fucking ring announcing. She's got a background in song. She wanted to do something more than sit there and ring announce.
No, she wanted to be a manager or a valet, but they wouldn't. She said there was no plans for her to get out of the ring.
This way, if you want to pay me $350,000 just to grab a damn microphone, you know
that's you. That's you.
You know who's jealous of that money right now? But he's dead. Is Howard Finkel, Tony Chimmel, Bill Dunn. All these other announcers.
Man, I'm about to say, what's Chimmel doing? Tony Chimmel ain't doing shit. They could bring him back. They got Linda.
He works at
Linda
Trader
Garcia.
He works.
Lydia, what the fuck her name? Linda Garcia. I don't know what the fuck.
Lillian Garcia.
Lillian Garcia. Wow, that just shows how bad I am. But no, Lillian Garcia was out there and she was like, "Oh, it's a number 1 containers match."
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, she has a ring announcement.
The first announcement she made.
This match is brought to you by the Container Store.
Yeah.
The number 1 container store match. Look, we had the fucking Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. We had the Cinnamon Toast Crunch match. We had the Aqua Fresca match at WrestleMania when all the Latin wrestlers were in there. Yeah, I saw that WWE. I know what you were doing.
But no, the reason why I bring that up because Friday night, Mercedes Moné actually showed up at the building in Lowell with 1,100 people.
Did she break her leg again?
I thought that we were going to get through one fucking episode without talking about Mercedes Moné.
Well, wait, we're talking about,
bodies of work. Bodies of work.
We're talking about that, and you know what?
Well, what body of work does she have? You got Bailey, you got Charlotte. Those matches, those are great matches. Those
the funny part is, and the funny part, I just said the building that they did in Lowell was where Sean lost his smile. Okay, same building, and it was also the one where he laid down for.
What you're saying is Sean lost his smile in that arena, but the fans lost their money in that arena because of Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes Moné showed up. Yeah. I told Triple H she could be a manager. Put me in the ring with her and give me 10 minutes for home.
You're not helping the whole gay thing, Omega.
Well, put it this way, if she would last 10 minutes, she can't last 10 minutes in a match. How's she gonna last 10 minutes in the ring with him?
Yeah, man, Mercedes is just wonderful. I hope she does well in her future. Yeah, Mystico is Sin Cara. That's news. I didn't know that.
What?
Wow. I always thought Sin Cara was Camacho, aka Tongaloa. That's what I thought Sin Cara was. No, I'm just kidding. Sin Cara was Hunico too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was a great tag team, Hunico and Camacho. They came out on bikes too. They were a great, non-stereotype. It's better than lawnmowers. You got the Mexicools.
Well, that was a great body of work right there.
You want to talk about a body of work?
He really knew how to do a fucking shooting star press or a 450.
Yep.
Which one?
Not like it was going to cost him his job or anything. But
yeah.
Fucking idiot.
When it comes to these bodies of work, and like I said, we do the take a shot at Mercedes and stuff like that.
You gonna bring it back here? You gonna put it back on track?
Oh, and listen, she came out the other day. I read something about her today or yesterday talking about how Tony Khan's like the greatest promoter ever. I'm like, I understand he's writing the check. I understand he's writing the paycheck, but is she behind him licking his balls? Because I'll tell you this right now, the nose must be up his ass.
Well, no, that's not true because Tony Khan, it's not Kenny Omega doing it, so Tony Khan doesn't have any interest. And Mercedes is just in the background, like she's one of those toddlers that are just that has a tantrum when they don't get their way, and then you just kind of shut them up and okay, here you go, here's some food, and then they stop crying. That's pretty much what Mercedes is.
Well, she's gone away since she got signed from AEW. Coming out of
she's gotten a bunch of cookies. She's gotten all these belts. She's the highest paid woman in the whole company. I've said it before. Saraya is probably the best. She's probably dealing with that great. After Mercedes, ended her career. But this isn't about Mercedes Moné, all right? We're talking about bodies of work. I think we need to talk about one person in particular, and it's the guy who's setting the indie world on fire right now. And he just got off a run from Maple Leaf Pro. He just faced Bully Ray Of course, I'm talking about the one and only.
Those two.
The one and only.
The gap between Sonny's lips. Both
I
step.
want to hear who this on fire indie wrestler is.
The one and
Please,
only
Jacob.
Raj Desi, aka Jinder Mahal. Now, hear me out, folks.
Come on, you didn't
Now
know
listen.
where he was going with that?
No, I did. I was just helping.
Yeah.
She's
No,
just helping.
so here's the thing, folks. You know, we have Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin now in AEW. And I think if we put Jinder Mahal instead of MVP as the leader of the Hurt Syndicate, I think that you're talking 90s level ratings right now. You know.
Well, let me put you like this, okay?
Talk about bodies
They
of work.
just lost to Next. They lost. Next flipped Knights, so to go head to head, and they lost by almost 200,000. They lost.
Well, it's because it's ECW. That's why. ECW. They had all the legends. That's the only
Speaking of bodies of work, did anybody see Dawn Marie? Holy smokes! What happened to her? She swallowed a couple of meatballs.
A lot of great things are happening with her. That's what that seems.
Not with Dawn Marie. She looked like she doubled in size.
Francine's held up well.
I'm going to tell you at Trips Live. I just got my response from John Pollock.
Oh, yeah.
He would love to sit down and talk to me.
Oh.
He said he did speak with you, Gerard.
Yep.
But anything further we'd like to talk about, he would like to talk about.
That'd be great.
So we'll have that discussion.
Journalism at its finest, folks.
John Pollock from the Post Wrestling Podcast actually reaching out and saying, hey, yeah, we've heard one side. We would like to hear the other side. Motherfucker.
What a fucking concept. And that's the lesson. Due diligence. Ask the ugly questions because you may not get the answer you want, but at least you're that much closer to knowing the truth and being a person of integrity.
One of the fucking three eyes. And who had a better body of work than Kurt Angle? Intelligence, integrity, intensity.
I would like to say one thing. I think my lovely comedic son, who we've all seen on the internet, is actually watching right now.
Fuck!
I gotta go. So
I don't want to be in one of his videos. He makes people look bad.
Hey, he actually shaved. He actually shaved.
So he looks like you? I'm so sorry.
No, he still got the long hair. You just shaved.
I know. So he looks like you. God, I'm sorry.
But
hi.
But no, like I said, when it comes to these bodies of work, and we can start with the
Gerard trying to get us back on track.
Yeah, we don't just have to talk about double M's. We can talk about other women who are they over if their body, like, think about it like this: the sexualization of the women because of their body, but they didn't actually do much in the ring.
Sable.
And then you put this. Hey, the fabulous Moolah doesn't even step in the ring today.
She was a handsome woman. Yeah.
But so
that's why we have Jacob on the program, everybody.
Let me ask you this: if you guys had your choice between Trish or Lita as your technical, like today,
both,
would you take Lita's wrestling ability over Trish's looks?
Wait, let me answer this for Dan. You already have that with Tiffany Stratton. Go ahead.
Yeah, you do.
But I'm just saying is though.
Oh my
But
God.
that's what I'm saying though. The look right now, you don't have to be skinny. And Tiff Stratton ain't the skinniest chick. Okay? And that's the good part about it. She's not the skinniest.
Damn right she
These
ain't.
EOS guys and the other one there, my good Lord, can they get any smaller? Now, just to make it look believable, when you have like EOS guy and Kairi Sane in the ring with Nia Jax or whatever.
Look, hold on. I resemble that remark.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Yeah, Will loves Bret Hart too much. That's why he doesn't like Hart.
Listen, Ludwig Kaiser is a very happy man, so we can't downplay Tiffany too much.
I think Trips likes Tiffany Stratton more than I do. Jesus.
No, I don't. I would go Lita if it was me between.
Yeah, I would go Lita any day of the week.
Yep.
Wait. Now Lita or then Lita?
It don't matter.
No, I'm talking about wrestling ability. If take away the look.
Oh, wrestling ability, probably Lita then, definitely. But looks don't matter.
The wrestling ability wise, I would have taken Lita, but because Trish looks wise.
If you really go back, all she could do was a moonsault. She wasn't super wrestling. I mean, she had a couple moves, but I think over time, Trish Stratus had the better fucking in-ring ability. I'm sorry. You just got distracted by her giant balloon fucking tits.
Well, what else was there?
Hey, me and Trish Stratus also share the same birthday, so
that's all you share, Gerard. Don't you know that? If you're talking about bodies, that's all you share. Just put that out there.
Hey, listen, see that?
And what's wrong with? Hold on. What is wrong with Tiffany Stratton? Huh? Anything? Tell me what's wrong with Tiffany Stratton.
Isn't Tiffany Strap-on Shayna Baszler? That's what I would call Shayna Baszler.
There goes our shot at syndication.
No cap.
Wow.
Well, Shayna Baszler would probably agree with that. I don't know.
No, because Shayna Baszler. Hey, think
it's
about this.
It's not us sexualizing Sky Blue's cheeks. It's just, oh god.
Well, hey, you know what? We got to be happy that these people are turning it around and slapping us back at it. They're being true journalists.
Slapping it, okay? I don't think you should be saying that, Gerard. Slapping it on the live podcast would not be the best idea.
Well, and honestly, WWE's gotten better with like non-sexualizing women, but then now it seems like in recent times they're kind of going in the other direction. Like, have you seen Nikita Lyons?
Not sexualizing, but then if you look at NXT and Stephanie McCarron, who I love in the ring, has her underpants sliding right up her fucking ass crack so you can see everything.
Beautiful. But no, but it's like you're talking about bodies of work. I mean, you see Nikita Lyons out there, and you see her wrestle, and she moves like fucking like the Kevin Nash underwater.
Her move is the clam slam. How the fuck is that not sexualizing shit?
Yeah, exactly. They're totally sexualizing her, but in the ring she moves like Kevin Nash underwater. She
slapping you in the face with her vag. What the fuck how is that not a fucking over sexualization?
Well, no, that's my point though. It's like they over sexualize her, but if you see her when she actually wrestles, it's terrible.
Okay. Here's a question for you. If Jacqueline had been 5 inches taller, could Jacqueline have been Trish?
No.
Because I think Jacqueline was a better wrestler.
Well, what about Ivory? Would you say Jacqueline was better than Ivory? Because I think Ivory would be one that you would have.
See, I'm glad J-Van picked up my Kevin Nash underwater comment. That's pretty slow.
I think Ivory got destroyed when she went. Did she go to the right to censor?
She was the right to censor. Yes.
Yeah, she was the right to censor. Yeah. I think that kind of killed. A great gimmick though. About a year too late. I think it was about a year too late.
Well, and so you went from managers and valets to divas so you had the under-sexualization because you had the Sapphires of the world, right?
You will not talk about Sapphire.
You wouldn't have Sapphire now. You wouldn't. There's no place for a Sapphire now. I would love a large
black woman as my valet.
You wouldn't see it.
Yeah, I would love to see that in wrestling. She would sing choir music and sing.
Have Lizzo as Cody Rhodes' manager.
Jemima is my.
Let's go back to that.
Cody Rhodes' manager. I can see it. And speaking of which, when Cody Rhodes was talking about body shaming, you think if Cody Rhodes got fat tomorrow, you think he wouldn't be offended if people started body shaming him? Cody Rhodes is a sensitive cat. He would fucking be devastated.
He did wear that mask when he broke his nose. He wasn't
he was disfigured, Trips. Come on.
Horribly disfigured.
He was horribly disfigured.
Don't look at
himself. He couldn't look at himself anymore.
Rey Mysterio,
that
damn Mexican ruined his nose
with his clear mask.
You just bring it up about something to where why did they get away from the female manager that we don't see anymore predominantly with the guy? Because
then you end up with Lana and then you get the Vladimir Putin.
No, listen. She messed that whole gimmick up when she was doing the thing with Dolph Ziggler, and then she puts out, I'm engaged in real life.
And Will just said it in the chat. I mean, they have Zelina Vega, and they don't use her in that role, which I don't know why.
Because they don't want to be in the ring now. And I can't say that I blame them. You don't want to just be.
But she was amazing with Andrade.
No, she was great.
She Trips at the time was not really into the female wrestling side of things. Am I wrong in saying that back then?
No, you're not wrong.
But when she saw her with Andrade, and it wasn't a sexual thing, she was a strong fucking woman, and she could kick your fucking ass, even though she was like as tall as fucking.
So it made her so powerful. She was so little.
Ooh. So Zelina Vega. When she came, let me
ask you a question. Does Vicky Guerrero get over if she wasn't Eddie's wife?
No.
Is Omega saying that for real? But anyways, no. Was Zelina Vega I thought that Zelina Vega kind of got fucked
I'm Mexican. Over. How the fuck am I being racist?
Yeah, it's the same shit. But no, Zelina Vega kind of got fucked over because she started to kind of hit her stride when the
that person keeps it up. I'm going to play the Mexican national anthem.
No, but she literally hit her stride when the pandemic hit because. Yeah, me and Gerard were talking about that Mexican national anthem. No, but when the pandemic hit, she was managing.
Don't like to just get in bar fights. We like white girls named Tina, and
I was saying it should be Rico Suave.
Ew.
Yeah, that's the Mexican anthem for me. But no, Zelina Vega was managing at one point. Andrade, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory all at the same time. And I thought that worked. Austin Theory was out of place, but Zelina Vega kind of sold it, and I'm like, okay, this kind of works. And then they, immediately, disbanded the whole thing. Andrade got released. Mm-hmm. Angel Garza is off in the fucking, corner somewhere. I don't know where he's at. It's unfortunate. And Zelina Vega's off in a corner too somewhere with the LWO. Sad.
Well, look at her. The sad part for Zelina is her husband works in the other promotion.
Well, if you believe the dirt sheets that are fucking always right and integrity is number one, he's leaving.
Okay, can we talk about that? Because Malachi Black's not innocent in this because, he did a whole segment where he was basically, a shot of him giving Adam Cole a kiss on the cheek, before he walked out.
Fucking hug. That's all he did.
He gave him a hug, and he was looking back at him, and he looked at the crowd. It was very, short of him taking his boots off in the middle of the ring, you would believe that he was out the door. And then he comes out, and once again, he's like, I'm not leaving, not retiring.
He is starting a small cat circus.
Well, yes, Brody King confirmed that. But, I feel like this is the fifth time Malachi Black has done this. He's come out and said, I'm not leaving.
He got you fucking mark. You're part of the podcast. You're a fucking mark, and you fell for it. I'm going to go.
I didn't fall for shit. I'm just saying, who cares? Just leave or don't.
Just to give Gerard a hug. And I'm going to say, I'm leaving Texas. We're moving to Massachusetts. That's it. I'm flying to Massachusetts just to give Gerard a hug.
You'll never do that because we're too liberal up here for you.
Fucking there, no. Yeah, but the media is going to say, Dan's going to fucking Massachusetts. He's going to move out there because he was out there hanging out with Gerard. They're looking for houses already.
Hey, Massachusetts is great.
I'm not moving to Massachusetts. You lost your fucking mind.
It's great. You got Sean Z Entertainment out there. You got
John
Cena.
I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to have to eat a nice live New England lobster on
I'm
the
supposed to be sending my wife one of those. We talked about it literally today on the phone when I was coming back from getting this fucking haircut. Did we or did we not?
Not today.
Not you. Me and my wife.
No.
Yeah.
Except I thought you meant Maine lobster. I was like, he's going to send you a fucking Maine lobster.
Like I told you, I can't go anywhere else in this country and have the lobster that I have up here, or the mussels, or the clams.
So those clams and lobsters have a wonderful body of work.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how you bring it back.
Love me some clams.
You know, that rock lobster crap stinks. But, you know, I'll just have to get one of those and just sit it right here next to me. And I'll keep it alive even.
You're a monster.
I hope it hurts your fucking ass. I hope it just pitches your ass. Hold on.
Is he letting out his inner Yankee?
Yeah, I'm like, did I say bro unironically? I don't think I did, but maybe I did. I don't know.
Bro.
Yeah.
You know, once he dips into Russo, it's not so easy to dip.
Yeah,
out.
no, it's like method acting, you know. It's like I get in and out, you know.
Well,
Like, I don't know.
hey, so just so you know, I've been to Pike's Fish Market, okay? Everything about Pike's is good. They have the one thing there that they don't have here is the Alaskan king crab. It's a little bit over there. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than it is over here. But you're not going to get
Alaskan king crab is so good, man. Oh, delicious. I couldn't really I had to try it like towards the end of when I was in Alaska this summer, but they literally like at the beginning of the year they were like, oh yeah, no, our Alaskan king crab has migrated over to Russia. I'm like, oh okay.
Oh, here he goes.
Really?
The second one decided to come over here. Don't judge me.
Yeah, so they couldn't catch any king crab for like commercial for a little bit, but then towards like the end of August, like I got to have some.
What are they going to do with Deadliest Catch if they can't get crab?
Oh, don't trust me. Every one of those sailors has got crabs at one point in their life. They'll be able to get more.
Yep. I went to high school with a chick that had crabs in her eyelashes.
How does that happen?
Yeah, no, it was the whole thing. It was fucking weird.
What the fuck is this happening to this podcast?
Well, you brought up crabs. I don't know. It's an anecdote. I don't know. But yeah, no, it was a whole thing.
The anecdote that this woman got crabs.
Eyelashes, yep.
Let me ask you this. For the bodies of work and stuff like that, okay, which guy or girl do you think had the worst body but had the best ringing ability?
Bull Meccano, hands down.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we already talked about Moolah.
Who's that girl from was it Ring of Honor or TNA? The one that you showed me that she got progressively bigger, but then she got smaller.
Oh, Jessica Havoc.
Jessica Havoc.
Oh yeah, Jessica Havoc is great. I like her in the ring, but yeah, she kind of has gone.
She's
up and down.
Unrecognizable from when.
Yeah, she kind of has gone up and down these past few years.
So
Sammy Callahan is also the same. I don't know because they're dating her and Sammy. Sammy Callahan's the same. He's gotten way bigger. I don't know what happened to the two of them, but
Tyler Rex is unrecognizable too.
Huh?
Tyler Rex is unrecognizable.
Yeah, whatever happened to that guy?
That is a body of work right there.
Guy. He's not a girl.
He's a handsome gal.
Handsome woman.
Listen, I would not want to say anything wrong to her still, though.
Hey,
I don't care if you look. If you want to do that, dude, whatever, do your thing.
Hey, you put some respect. You know, she was in the Survivor Series 2010 tag team match. I had to look that up because I forgot what Tyler Rex ever did.
And then in 2025, in 2025, she'll be in the Women's Royal Rumble.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? I would love to see what people would say about that. That'd be like, I don't know. I mean, hey, we had Santina Marella in the Rumble.
Did you read that?
That's not the same thing. Anyway, I think they do. Yeah, no, it's some. I don't know. It's like
it's either a shampoo
or
or you got
personal problem.
Or you just shave it off, you know.
This is a family show.
Yeah, the Addams fucking family.
I was gonna say the Munsters.
Yeah, we're the Munsters.
You are definitely Herman. Fucking, you're definitely fucking Herman.
Okay, Grandpa.
Damn right.
We got Eddie over here and Marilyn over there.
This motherfucker named every one of the fucking monsters.
Listen, at least I didn't call her Lily. I call her Marilyn.
But here's the going on back to that though, Moolah. I remember watching when Tara made the fucking video on Vince McMahon, and it was fucking. Here comes. Who was it? Who the fuck was?
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Throwing each other by their hair, and
She's
she smudged her lipstick. She's really mad now. But I feel like they were more athletic and more active. There was a hiatus in between. So back then they were really, kicking each other's butts. Then you had, divas, and then now you're back to them actually having in-ring ability and training and being athletic, and it's kind of come, full circle. And how
Let
much
me ask you this,
full circle.
Do people like Mae Young, Fabulous Moolah, Wendy Richter, those women back then, do they even get over today?
Wendy Richter probably because she was.
Yeah, I think Wendy Richter does.
Rockin' Robin.
Yeah.
Now, my question for Rockin' Robin would be: Rockin' Robin, does she get by on the nepotism part of it?
Well, I think
the men get away with it, so why wouldn't she?
Well, I think I think nowadays, like if Rockin' Robin came around nowadays, I think people would. I think the Grizzly Smith stuff wouldn't be such a secret as it was back then.
No, I'm not. I'm taking away all the other stuff. I'm just saying, her in-ring ability, would she get over today?
Probably. I'd say probably. But it depends because women have a better chance now to get over than they ever did, because now it's but really, who's really over right now? Like I'd argue like you have someone like Chelsea Green who's as far as character work is miles above everyone else. And now we officially have a mid-card title on the main roster, so
by the way, don't be surprised Monday. Don't be surprised Monday if you don't hear them announce a women's intercontinental champion Monday.
Yeah, that's a given. Yeah, we already know that's going to happen.
Yeah, that ain't.
I mean, Chelsea Green has to win one of those belts. I don't care what you do. Just give, Chelsea Green needs to be there.
Well, don't be surprised if Jinder Mahal comes back on Monday.
If we have Jinder Mahal, that would be the greatest thing ever. Like, if he becomes a woman, we're talking main event of WrestleMania for women. Jinder Mahal. I love it.
Is that with full beard?
With full beard, yeah, with full beard, with his hair and a ponytail, like it's beautiful.
Hey, why you're saying that? But think about this. They've never dabbled into that. Is it because they don't have a big presence in India, to where you don't have?
Well, Jinder Mahal's not really Indian; he's Canadian.
No. What I'm saying is, why have they never had like? If you notice,
no, it's true. It's true because literally they had the perfect story in Veer Mahan. When they had Veer Mahan, for weeks, he's coming, and then it became a meme at this point. But really, if you look into his backstory, he is you ever seen the movie $1 Million Arm? Like he's the inspiration for that movie. He has a good backstory, and they just don't, for whatever reason, they just don't get into that market. And the only company that really did was TNA with Ring to King, but we don't like to talk about Ring to King.
I love to talk about Ring to King.
We could. Scott Steiner was the best part of Ring to King.
Well, I think they bring in the Great Khali and all them stuff just so they get their foot into India.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with, I'm talking about those areas of the world, like China right now. They can't go into China, so.
Well, she died.
Huh?
She died.
The communist government controls everything. They can't get into China right now.
Yeah, no one can get in her nowadays.
Oh God! I'm not talking about the Y. I'm talking about the I. Okay.
You're not wait. You're not talking about the I. You're talking about the Y. So are we.
No, I'm not talking about the Y. I'm talking about the I. You're still a young man. Your hearing shouldn't be going. Okay, put your hearing aid in. Well, I might be sounding like your wife there, but you know.
I
see no comment. But I'm saying is the parts of the world where they can't get into, are there women from that demographic that's not even predominantly in any professional wrestling? Because, hey, we can't go there was it simply having that kind of woman on our program, or man for that matter. Because, you know, if you notice, they've tried to do the thing with a Saudi Arabian person in Saudi Arabia. Man, you've never tried to do an Arab woman going into
Her
there.
hijab would fall off.
Yeah, they wouldn't go for that.
I was saying it during Crown Jewel. I'm like, I wonder what would happen if, like, during one of these women's matches, like, you know, their pant leg rides up and they just show some leg. You know what? I wonder what they would do. Or like,
Well,
God forbid the pants split or something. Like, what?
They're gonna
what would they
burn
do?
the fucking arena down.
Yeah, like, what would they do? Like, or, God forbid, like,
did you hear about Bianca? So Bianca for Crown Jewel had to use some black, I think, paint because her outfit was so transparent. She was saying she had to put like some black paint inside her thing, inside her outfit, just because when she first put it on, it was too light where you could still see her skin.
Well, during the match graphics for the matches, they painted their skin the colors of their gear because they couldn't. Because some of these women didn't have renders in the full bodysuit, so they just painted their skin blue for some of these.
Look, I mean, heck, how much jewels?
Aggressive country, though.
Yeah.
Aggressive country.
Oh, yeah. How many jewels were left on that canvas? I'll tell you, when they got out of that ring.
Well, it is called Crown Jewel. And it's better that they had jewels on there than the blood of a dead body that had just hit the ring.
Yeah, no, it's like, does anyone ever notice every time they show like the Arab announce team, like they always switch in it? Like it's always different. The Arab announce team is always different every time they go to Saudi Arabia.
Well, the dirt sheet told me that perhaps they killed them because they're not satisfied with their fucking.
They missed the call.
Yeah, they didn't
They
find
they drag their bodies out in suitcases, pieces at a time.
There you go, bodies of work. Hey, how come there is no? And she might want to answer this question. How come we don't have no female regular announcers?
Well, they tried with Renee Young, and then look how that turned out.
You know,
but you don't just try with one.
You don't, but yeah. Oh. All right. So I have a weird opinion on that because I feel like you have that in the mainstream with football and basketball and baseball. And while I believe there may be some women who are fans, I don't believe that there's a huge pool of women to choose from that really have that love of the sport. It feels like a token assignment. Oh, look, we have this beautiful blonde on the sidelines. We have this girl.
Wait, there better be, because I'm promised 20 virgins when I die.
I don't think they give two shits. And so as far as wrestling goes, I don't think you have a fandom. Women aren't watching to hear another woman talk. I could give a shit. I'd rather hear the guys who have been there and done that. I don't want to hear from some bubble-headed blonde give commentary on something she's not done, doesn't truly have a love for, may not have the knowledge base. I will take a guy any day of the week.
Are you taking a shot at Tiffy?
No, I'm not. I think it's pandering, and I think it's, if there was someone who really was good at it, had a love for it, had a passion for it, sure. But to just blankly throw one in there so you could say you have one, kind of like Raider Chat, oh, with the first female ref, I could give a shit. That's not why I watch wrestling, and that's not why I find it entertaining. I'm not looking for,
it's good to hear that opinion.
I don't need a box check to be a fan.
So you're saying there's sexism in wrestling?
What?
No.
Hey,
ever.
I'm saying appointing one would be sexist. That's pandering. Just to say, hey, we have the first female announcer. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I could give a shit about that. I don't feel like that's...
Why is there not a black announcer?
Well, I mean, Samantha Irving said that she wanted to do announcing, so I don't know why they couldn't have just put her in that position.
Yeah. Why isn't there a male black announcer, Trips?
We had Jonathan Coachman.
No. We're not talking about
the other guy.
Announcer.
We're talking about ring announcer.
Byron Saxon, right? No.
Hold on, Jacob. Jacob Trips. Why isn't there not a black?
There used to be one.
There used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you think that's a little bit of racism to not have a black, maybe blackball?
I don't think so. If there is a qualified individual, it doesn't matter gender, race, creed, any of that. But I think it's insulting to go, hey, we need a Mexican announcer, we need a black announcer, we need a woman. Oh, we got to check that box.
No, you can't have them. We can't. We're supposed to.
Now,
Mexicans.
if you get all three in the same person, that'd be great if you could do all three in the same person.
Well, that'd be fantastic. But I think it's
Phil Hartman's not alive anymore, sadly.
if it's not organic, I don't see the point. I find it insulting if it's
Everything Mexicans grow is organic,
including their green vegetable
or oranges.
See,
Mangoes too. Mangoes are delicious.
next week though, we have a plan to talk about, well, as Gerard would call it, the isms of professional wrestling: sexism, racism, nepotism, botulism, all of those things.
And autism. We're talking about you.
Listen, so we got to bring Eugene on.
Yep, exactly.
Look at
I'm special.
We know you are,
Yes,
Jacob.
you are.
Yes, I am.
That's why we bring you on the show to get a demographic.
Yep, you got to check all the boxes.
Jameson that used to come out
on the show.
Hey, Jameson that used to come out with the Bushwhackers, where he would bite the tie the whole way down.
Oh, remember Festus too. Can't forget about Festus. Come on, he's still in WWE right now.
How about the time of his life?
Listen, look at the hey. All you gotta do is look at the Dudleys. What was it, like 6 of them at one time?
There was literally one named Dances with Dudley.
Yep, there was Dudley. I remember that. There was
Dances with Dudley.
Spike
Dudley.
big I won't
Big
say the
Dick.
other.
Big Dick Dudley.
Yep.
We know how much you like to say it, so we.
Well, and put J-Man's up there. He's right about that, but they also had JoJo at one point.
Oh, yep.
So.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's one of those things to where, though, why is it more prevalent to put a female in that ethnicity than a man? Because my only question is my question beyond that is, have you even given one of the brothers a chance?
Who was the guy in the back that was doing the backstage interviews back during the Attitude Era and all that? What was that guy? I can't think of his name.
The coachman.
So why? I mean,
because Coach doesn't want to do it anymore. Like he doesn't want to be an announcer anymore. And as far as that, like, you got Caprice Coleman, in AEW, and they don't use him at all. So I don't there's definitely not. There's definitely is a shortage of black.
Okay, to be fair, until Bobby Lashley, I think he was the last one. When's the last time you had a fucking full-on African-American world heavyweight champion, not half Samoan, not half white, not a light-skinned brother? I'm talking Ron Simmons, black motherfucking world heavyweight champion.
ECW champion Vince McMahon.
I'm coming.
That's a world champion. Come on.
Well, Booker T. I mean,
we got 30 seconds, 40 seconds.
But listen.
You heard it here first, folks. The greatest African American champion of all time, Vince McMahon.
Listen, and he'll say it too.
Yeah.
Silence is thunderous here, boys.
Look, that's a lie, because we all know the greatest African American ever wrestler of all time, who's underrated, is, of course, the African Dream, Akeem. He was the greatest African American wrestler ever. I mean, no one, for a big man his size, and to do the things he did.
Yes.
No, I mean,
he was flipping and flopping. Ricochet, who?
I will say this about Coach. The thing about Jonathan Coachman, how he would do the dance from Carlton and the Prince of oh my God, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Carlton dance. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So we've hit the 2-hour mark.
Ugh.
Touched a lot of bodies tonight.
Yes, we did.
We didn't touch anybody's.
Yep.
Except for you both touching a little bit of a cat.
To be fair, I was pestered by my cat. That being said, Trips,
Yes.
thank you for coming on. You're always welcome.
Oh, thanks.
I think your insight was needed in the serious part of this episode.
I appreciate that. I have
Especially
strong
when
feelings
we were
on
getting
it.
the truth out there about Vince McMahon truly being black. I think we needed you for that.
Well, you know, we have to ask the tough questions, and sometimes we don't like the answers we find. So
Look here, nobody here wears
I
a
feel
dirty.
like we've done our job.
Nobody here wears a dirty Super Mario T-shirt and drools on.
Listen,
people.
if we had put that out there, we would be accused of clickbait.
You don't think I'm not going to change the subject, the title on this video after we get out of here? Exposed. Vince McMahon exposed.
Exposed. Greatest black champion of all time.
The black champion you don't hear enough about.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm Dan. That's Gerard. That's Jacob. And thank you, Trips, for being here.
Thank you guys for letting me hang out.
We'll see you next week.